Hi, good day. My name is Topman Paul-Dike, and if you're learning MySQL and you're interested in knowing how it is used in real life, you might be very interested in this video because you're going to learn a lot. So that's I am actually doing the database schema. I'm actually implementing the database schema for a web app that my peers and I are building. We started learning how to develop using React. And then we decided to, while in the journey, we decided to, first of all, build something with basic technologies, HTML, CSS, vanilla JavaScript, Node.js, with the backend framework as PricePrecision. So this is the point where we are implementing the database using MySQL, right? And I want to show you how the work looks like. The name of the app is called PricePrecision. Yeah, it is on GitHub. PricePrecision, and we at this point we've gone a bit far. This is how much progress we've made. We have the code for the front end. Yeah. Okay, so here they are, and just to show you what the front end looks like, I've got the codes here on my system. And if you want to see how we encoded these lines, this is in line sections, okay? You can follow the videos. Let's see what it looks like. And here is, so this page actually is not going to be the landing page. This is going to be like when the user is signed in, okay? The landing page is going to contain a sign-up form and a login form as well. So you can actually sign in or sign up on the landing page and see other beautiful things, attractive things that will decorate it, right? So what this app does basically is the users are business owners or store owners or shop attendants. So it just keeps price. That's all. It keeps price. The price of it. So it's looking at the app. You know the price of goods. You know the one that is out of stock and the one that's available. It's for you, your personal use as the shop attendant, okay? So you can add, you can update, you can delete the one you don't want. So that's how it works. But let's begin from how to install MySQL. I'm going to walk you through that on the command line, especially for those of us watching now who are students of ADX. You might be very interested in that. So right. So let's get straight to business. And the first thing you want to do is to update your dependencies by doing sudo apt update and wait for it. So your packages and dependencies will be updated. After that, you want to now enter the command that installs the MySQL server. So sudo apt install MySQL server. And you see 0 newly installed because I have it here already. Let me check. This is how you check. I have it here already. But if you didn't have it, you will have to wait for it to install. At some point, you may have to enter Y and press enter for it to continue. So let's check whether it's running. So status. Oh, that was a mistake. It should be service, not survive. Service. So now it's running. Now this is not the code. Your own will not be running if you just install it, okay? So if you just install it, you have to use start instead of status, okay? Start, and your own will get started. Now there's a script like this here, okay? But you don't want to just run this script without doing this, otherwise you run into trouble. So without doing what? Without making your root user authenticate with password. So I'm inside the MySQL server. I'll enter this command here and choose a password for my root user. Say YouTube demo. Okay, and then I will exit. Then I can now run this script, but of course I have to use the sudo command. Run it and then enter the password, YouTube demo, enter, and then I'll say Y for yes here. And I want to choose the medium. I don't want to be explaining all these things right now. I'm not actually teaching MySQL. I'm just walking you through. Oh, that was wrong. Okay. I will say is S and no for this, no here. Yes, of course. Okay, we're all done. Now, if I try to log in like this again, it will not work because I am not authenticating with password. So what I need to do is to do this -u, then user -p. It will ask me for my password. I'll enter it, press enter, and I'm in. Now I want to change it so that I can now authenticate with that password. I can now log in with the password. So let me exit and try to log in like that again. Watch. Now it's successful, right? Okay, I can create a new user with this. Let me create a new user with name Topman, with the password Topman as well. And let's go. Oh, I'm not logged in, sorry. Log into the server and run that command again. So I'll copy this and paste it in there. Oh, error. The password is not strong enough, so I'm going to paste it again and modify the password to something strong. So we should have uppercase, lowercase, numerals, and character. So this should work. Great, it worked. So you may as well, I may copy this. We can now log in. The user Topman can now log in like this and paste the password, enter. See, Topman is in, but Topman does not have some permissions, right? So doesn't have some privileges. So let's go and give Topman some privileges using the root user. So if I paste this here, I'm giving the permission to create, alter, drop, insert, update. I'm giving all these permissions on all of this first asterisk is for the database and the second one is for the tables, right? So on all of the database and all of the tables, I'm granting this privilege to Topman, the user Topman, and that's it. So if I enter this, Topman has such privileges right now. This is a shorter way to grant all privileges to Topman, and Topman will be as superb, as powerful as the root user. Okay, all right. I'm going to remove that. I don't want to do that now. But take note that all right. Oh, I'm going to exit and let's go and do that. I think that's that about installations, creating users and granting privileges to users on MySQL. So let's go to our work environment. I'm not working here actually. I just came to demonstrate how to install. So I'm using my virtual machine Ubuntu. You don't need to bother. If you're an early student, you will have a sandbox that you can use to play like this, or you can install Vagrant, yeah, and use it. So I like this environment. It's very, very interesting. So let's get straight to work. I'm going to log in into my SQL server as the root user. Of course, I have to use a sudo command, and it will ask me for my password, my computer password. This is not my SQL asking for password. This is my computer. This sudo command asking to know whether it's me. So once I do that, I'm in. I mean, the first thing I want to do is show. Okay, look at this. Is the table we are working on, right? We're working on this table. We want to create a database known as PricePrecision. Okay, where the back, I mean, the back end has to interact with the front end, right? So I'm going to have two tables. Table number one is going to be user info. This one is going to be product info. And these are the things we are expecting from the user at the time of sign up. The ID, the first name, the last name, the gender, the phone, email, password, and password will be hashed so that we can't even see it from the back end. We can't even see it. We can't even know what your password is. That's how just to secure the user. And then there's going to be a business name, and we will automatically generate a business ID for you, right? And then the business description is optional. You can choose to add it or not. So is the business address. What I mean by that is if you're filling a form, for example, and you fill and leave a compulsory field, a required field, and try to submit, it will prompt, there will be an error prompt, like it prompt you to fill it. So these particular two fields are optional, while the rest are compulsory. So now for the second table, is just to receive data from this particular page. So for example, the soup I just typed now will have an order number automatically generated, and the business ID will come from here to identify what particular user is adding the goods, right, to the database. And then the product name soup I just typed here, this one here, soup, we come and take this space, product name, database, and then the price, the price added will come and take this space here. Yes, and the par is like trying to define the unit, the measuring unit of the price. We are going to remove this from the front, and you're going to remove that order number. We have plans to edit it. We'll take this off and put rather put the unit here, so that because the order number is automatically generated, we don't need it from the user. So we can put the unit, for example, we can say per piece, or say per packet. Let's say, or say per row, per dozen, if whatever the user wants. But we are going to implement it such that if the user does not input anything, there will be a default value there. So if the user does not input anything, it will by default put unit for the user. So it's not going to be a compulsory field, okay? And that's it for par. And then the product status is this one that shows whether it's available or out of stock. The user should be able to tell us whether it's available or out of stock. But let me refresh it and show you something. I'm going to also implement it such that if the user does not, it's going to be optional. If the user does not click available or out of stock, by default it will be available, right? It will be marked as available. Okay, that's that about that. Okay, I think we are ready to go to the database right now. As for primary key and foreign key, I think that's going to be explained as we make progress. So let's start by seeing databases that are available here. So I have these databases available, as you can see. Now this will work if I use lowercase, but it is conventional. It's a conventional practice to use uppercase rather than lowercase. So I'm going to respect that throughout this video. So I'm creating a database right now. PricePrecision, and then I'm going to show the database again to show you that it has been created. PricePrecision, but it's empty. There's nothing in it. So let's use it. This is like logging into PricePrecision, opening it. Always put semicolon at the end of your command. Okay, so let's create a table. Let's create the first table, and the name of the first table is user info, and this is it. I'm going to create all of these fields here. I'll put an open parenthesis, press enter, start putting what I want. I want ID, and if the type is int, it should not be null. That means it must not be empty. There must be something there. And I'm going to ask it to auto increment. The user will not give us an ID. We are the ones that will generate the ID at the back end. So it will generate by itself. Okay. And so to make that happen, I'll put auto increment keyword. And then I'll also indicate that it's a primary key. In a short while, I'm going to explain better what primary key and foreign keys are. So it's a primary key, comma. The next one is the first name, right? First name, and I'm going to state that the first name, this data type, which is the next argument, is varchar. Varchar means varying numbers of character, and I'm going to set it at 50, meaning that the user has a maximum of 50 characters to fill in, not null. That's it. But if the user fills in more than 50 characters, there will be error. There will be error in the database, and we'll look for a way to send message back to the front end, tell the user you can't fill more than 50 characters. Okay, and that's what varchar is. From 1 character to 50 characters is allowed, or are allowed from 1 character to 50 characters. I will do the same thing for the last name. Give it the same space. I'm just making enough room in case somebody's name is as long as a sentence. Okay, so not null as well. That means it's a compulsory field, it's a required field. Next is the gender, and gender should not be more than 6 characters. Alright, remember that the ID. Now, when I say this is a primary key, it's a primary key because each user has different value, right? No two users will have the same value for this thing. It is going to be used to identify the user, each user. That is why it is a primary key on this table. Okay, this one is also a primary key, order number. Okay, it's going to be used to identify each goods. No two goods will have the same value, the same number. Okay, so why this business ID is a foreign key? Because it is not originally here. It's what in the second table uses to identify the user, right? When you're logged in like this and you have this space, so it is your ID, it is this business ID that is auto-generated, that will show that, okay, this is the owner, this is the registered user that is filling his goods into this table, right? I think you understand as we implement further, as we go further with the implementation. Okay, the relationship between these two tables. Okay, now let's continue. So gender, I'm going to say varchar 6 will do. Okay, here we are, and these are all the fields we want created. All you can see that this last we don't have the not null, the description and the business address. Remember, I told you it's going to be optional, so it could be null. You can afford to leave it empty. If the user does not fill it, it's okay. And that's how I want our app to work. And what else is worthy of note here? The password, remember, it's going to be hatched, and the hatching process that we're going to use can make the password to be up to 255 characters. So we need to make enough room for that. That's why we have it like that. And the business ID is going to be automatically generated, and we're going to use a functionality that generates about 36 characters. It's called UID4. I won't explain that now, but just know, just have that idea. So I'll put my closing parentheses and semicolon, and now everything is working well. Let's see how many tables we have. We have one table right now, user info. So I'll go ahead and create the next table, the one for the product. Yeah, so create table product info. Okay, I want order number. It's going to be of type integer, and it must not be empty, not null, and it should auto increment. Yeah, as additions are made. Okay, I want a business ID. Yeah, so I'll copy this because it has to be the same, since I want to use it as a foreign key. And then next, I want to get the product name from the user. So it should be, I will just copy this. The person's product should be more than 300 characters. Okay, next, the price should be of type integer, and it must be there, so it mustn't be null. Then the par in it, it has to be a variant character, or I think 10 would do, or 10 would do. So let's go with 10, and it should not be null, but we have a default value. So, and that default value is unit. So if the user does not fill it, automatically unit to be filled there. Okay, so product status will be a boolean value, that is true or false, right? And the default is true. Okay, are we good? It says all. Okay, I will add this one, created at, because I want to be able to track the date and time that the user created it. So instead of data type date time, I don't want it to be null, but I want to auto generate it with the default value. And I'm going to use this keyword current timestamp. Current timestamp tells, it tracks a particular date and time that action was carried out. So update that is another good feed. Then another necessary feed. This one we use to track. So I'll give you the keyword on update. That means when the user makes an update, track the current time stamp. Okay. I think I want to leave it as null when update is yet to be made. So I mean, it's a good practice to have it as not null and set the default to current timestamp, but then I want to leave it as null. So primary key, remember that I did not define it here, so let me define it here now. Primary key, I'll put it in bracket. So the order number should be our primary key, and then I'll also define the foreign key as well. So I'll put a comma here and enter. The foreign key is the business ID. Yeah, business underscore ID. And the syntax demands that we create a reference to the table, from where we're getting that key from where we're getting the key rather. So user info is the name of the table, and the column is ID. All right, I think we are good. I'm expecting an error here, so let me just put my semicolon and my after my closing parenthesis. That's it. So to fix this, we need to create an index. I think it's because that business ID is not some integer value. So create index, and then I'll put the name that I want to give to the index. All right, we are creating index on that particular column in the user info table. So what I'm doing now, I'm the one that chose to give you this name. Okay, you can choose to give it your own name. All right, I'm the one that chose to give you this name, ID. Okay, so on user info, state the name of the table, state the name of the column, business ID, and enter. So if I run this command again, it should work now. I just remember, if you press arrow key up, you get the previous command you used. So let's show tables again to see. Now we have two tables created. That's quite interesting. Now let's learn together what happens to the database when the user is using the front end. Okay. Now, first of all, let me describe this. If I do this, enter this command, it tells us the data types. I mean, the structure of the table. Okay, you can see a primary key here and a multiple key, MUL from multiple key, and the default values are all null. And here you can see that this one can be null. Yes, it can be null because it's optional. The user can put it. User can decide to put it. I want to alter that email. Email should be unique because not users should have the same email. It should be unique. This way we can be able to stop a user from signing up twice. We just know because the email will be in the database already. So I'll just add the keyword unique. Alright, so I think we're good to go. Enter. Let's describe that table again. You now see that the email is a unique key right now. A unique key. Okay. Let's also try to describe the other table, the one for product info. Okay. So we're making progress. Alright, here it is. You can see we have multiple key here. That is the foreign key from data table, and then we have the primary key as order number, and then you can see that the date cannot be null. This one can be null. I think product status should be not no. So that not no. I'm going to work on that right now. I'm going to alter the table. So current timestamp is not bad if you have it in these two places, but I choose to leave it that way. So let me alter that column product status because I don't want it to be null. So modify product status. I'll state the data type, which is boolean, and I'll state that it shouldn't be null and the default value should be true. Okay, let's describe again. Oh, everything is good. You can see now that it cannot be null again. the default value is 1. 1 stands for true, 0 stands for false. Okay, and then the par has a default value of unit, right? And updated that can be null. That's my choice for this demo. So I want to demonstrate now what happens when a user is signing up, because the first step is supposed to get this information at the point that the user is signing up. So let's assume that a user by the name Topman is signing up. This is the command that is triggered in the back end. So gender, user will give us phone. We don't need ID from the user. So will give us email, password, and user will give us a business name, and of course we will auto generate the business ID. The user may not be aware that he has a business ID. That's for us and the work on the database. And let's assume that this user does not want to give us description and business address. I will zoom out a bit so this will be clearer. So let's go ahead and input. This is being funny now. What's happening? Oh, okay. I think I will just start over. The command is not here. Sorry about that. It was because I zoomed out. So let's go again. So insert into the user info table the following data, or into the following columns rather: first name, last name, gender, phone, email, password, business name, and it will auto generate the business ID, which the user does not have to give us. So we assume that someone is signing up on that web app, and values. So these are the values that the person will be giving us. So while the person enters his first name on that front end, we'll catch it from here, and the surname, and the last name, and then the gender, male, and phone number. Okay, phone number is +254. This border is just for demo, it's fake. Then email, what am I going to choose? Let's say Topman at tmaworldwide.com. Okay, next is password. I'll just put asterisk star to represent the password. Yeah, it won't really look like this anyway. Business name, TMA Worldwide. So these are the things that the user will give us, and is this all? Okay, these are. Oh no. Okay, the error is coming from the fact that there is no. I stopped here, but the database is expressing this as well. Although the user will not give it to us, but we need to put it in this demo. So let me copy this again. We need to add it because it must be there. Otherwise, the database will throw up an error. It can be null. So we just put anything for now, any value for now, because we've not implemented the functionality that we auto generate it. So UI4 should be the business ID, and now it worked. Let's check database. Select everything from user info table. I'm going to zoom out so you see this clearly. Okay, so you see we now have all the details that you just enter. This is how we track the details from the front end. Okay, right? We are assuming that this thing is happening in the front end and being tracked in the back end. Okay, now we are going to register several users at the same time. We're going to assume that several persons are on the internet at the same time registering on our web app. So that's how it will be. they are in different parts of the world registering at the same time. And this one is a female. And this is her contact. This is our email. What I use now? abube@testing.com. Okay, my password. So while she's on the front end filling these things, this is the command that will be triggered at the back end to make the database catch the details, catch the data, and have it saved. So it will be, the name of our business is Able Restaurants. Okay, so automatically generates a UID for her, unique business ID. Okay, next user, I'm going to copy this and change the values just to be faster. Copy and paste it here. Alright, this other user, the first name will be okay. This is our email, Sandy Baby. At yahoo.com. So let's say Sandra is a fashion designer. So Sandy Fashion. And of course, the users cannot have the same business ID here. Let me register one or two more users. So let's have another mail here, Sifiso. His number is his contact, and his email is let's do it as this. Okay, and as this one is a forex trader, so we'll call his business SI Forex, and let's make it UID underscore 4. Oh, right. Should I do some more? I think this is enough. I'll put semicolon and then, wow, it went well, no errors. Let's now see the table again. You can see that we now have 4 different users, and you see that this ID can never be the same for 2 users. That's why it's a primary key, and it's auto implemented by itself as registered. It's not given to us, it's not supplied to us by the user, right? That is worthy of note. And then now let's try to work with the other table. Let me describe it again just to know the data I'm working with. Okay, now let's assume that let's assume that the first user is trying to add a product to his own space, right? So this is the command that is triggered at such time. So the business ID does not come from him. Of course, he may not be aware that he has business ID. We are the ones using it from the back end to track him, to know who owns what on this table. Okay, so product name. Okay, so let's demonstrate how it happens from the front end, what really happens, how the front end and the back and database interact. So I am signed in now as Topman, and I am trying to register one of my products, which is bit making, and I do $1,000 per bit. So I can choose to put per bit here, or per instrumental, or per production, whatever I like. And if I leave it blank because it's optional, it will by default put per unit for me in the database. Okay, and so I can choose to either click that it's available or out of stock. Let me make this bit. I think it's better. So bit can be available or out of stock, and then once I click add product, this is what happens. This command is triggered in the back end, and my data, actually that should be the UID. My data is added to the database. So the bits that I entered here will come in as a product name. The price will come in here, and let's go. All right, so let's see what happens. Select everything from product info. Okay, so you see now that I have the order number is automatically generated. Okay, it's automatically generated, and this table knows that this goods is mine because it has my business ID, that was my unique business ID, and the name, product name came in here, the price came in here, and because I did not put anything here, unit was added here for me. So it's per unit, and the value of 1 is here, which stands for true, which means it's available. The date and time was tracked at which I created that goods, that record, and then update as is null. I choose to make it null. I can choose to make it, I mean, it's a good practice to make it to have the same value with created at the point where the record was created. It's a good, and then later change at the point where it's updated, but I choose to make it empty while at time of creation. And when we make any updates, when any update is made, maybe to show that okay, this product is no more available, or the price has changed, things like that, it will now track the time, the date and time at which that update was made. I choose to do it this way. I mean, people working on the back end can do it another way, or basically the essence of all of this is for us to learn. Okay, learn how to use these stuffs, and learn how to manipulate these things and build ratings with them. Okay, all right, so next thing I want to do is register. Let's assume that there are multiple users. These users are all logged in at the same time from different parts of the world, and they are trying to register their goods. What I'm doing now is just to fetch. I'm just trying to fetch the business ID and the business name of the user, so that it will inspire me to make real examples. It will be a bit more real in my examples, even if it's not real. So here they are. I'll be looking at that table to assume data or generate data, or give instances or give examples. Okay, so they are all signed in and they are registering products from different parts of the world, and this is the let me copy this. This is the command that is being triggered. So let's say that this one's now added their unit of measurement, and then they also added the product status. Okay, so this is not exactly the command that will be triggered, but something like this happens. So the essence of this is also to demonstrate how the database interacts with the front end. So the user with this UID has the user number, the 40 user there, CFISO. Since his business is C4X, so he has Bitcoin for sale, and he sells each Bitcoin at the rate of $500. So he sells it per coin, $500 per coin, and it's available. So I'll put true here. So the moment you click that it's available, it is the value true that will come. Let me copy this and generate more data. Quickly, let's edit this to belong to the user with the business ID of UUID 4. That's Ibubi. She's a restaurant. She has shawarma for sale, and it's $50. $50 per word now. Let's say per wrap. And but it's not available, so it's out of stock. Because the click that is out of stock, we'll get it as false here. And let's use Ibubi again. Ibubi has rice, not cooked one, raw rice, and the cost is $150 per bag, and it is available. And who else? Let's put some more. We are buying here to Sandra, a fashion designer. So you have Sandra has some what jean trousers for sale in her store, and she sells it $10 per pair of trousers, and they are available. Where else? Let's put some more goods. Let's add some more goods. So another one for the Bitcoin, the Forex man. So he has this currency for sale, and he sells it at $20 per, let's say, unit. But it's not available. It's out of stock. One more. Let's have another one for the first user. That's going to be C programming. C programming is one of his products. So C programming costs is $5,000 per, let's say, session. It's available. Okay, I think I'm gonna add one more user. This should be the last. I feel exhausted already. Okay, so UID for dinner gown. That's Sandra, fashion designer, and $100 per piece of gown, and it's available. So okay, let's say it's not available, and I'm going to add my semicolon and end it here. Alright. Okay, they all entered. Now let's look at the table. Let's go to the table again. This is the command we used before. Yeah. So we have 8 products belonging to 4 different persons in the same database. But no user will see the data of another user. Right, because of the implementations, you can see that 0 represents false, that means out of stock, and 1 represents true, that means available. Okay, that's existing. That's the essence of that's what is sent to, once the data is sent to the front end. I mean, okay, let's assume that I am logged in now. Okay, now. Once I log in, this is the command that will be triggered. Right? If Topman logs in, you should now trigger this command. Your business ID equals UUID 4. And this is what happens. You can see that only my goods now are showing. Right? So that's what will now appear here in the front end, where only my goods will be showing. This one true, this one true. That means available. It will be showing available here. Okay? So just assume that that's what is showing now. Bit and C programming. Assume that that's what is here. This thing is static right now. We've not made it interactive. It has not started interacting with the database yet. We also want to make it possible for one to double click on a record and the status will change to out of stock. So if we succeed in doing that, this is the command that will be triggered. It will come and update the record here. So update. I'm not sure this is the right syntax, and let's try update column product. No, I think it should be update table. Product info, and then we'll set the value of the product status to be false. Okay, where you have to specify where the ID of the product. If you don't specify the ID of the product, you go and do this to all the products, right? So I mean order number, that's what I mean by ID of the product. So where the order number is 1, that means you're referring to the goods that it has. That's a syntax error. I think table should not be here. So let me remove the keyword table and so that it works now. MySQL is very syntax sensitive. Okay, so it worked. Now let's take a look at that table again. Here. Alright, so you see now that it's now updated. It was true here, now it's false. 1 for true, 0 for false. And the updated art now has a new date and new time. It tracks the time and it's different from the created art. So the time that the update was made here, as you can see here, is different from the time the record was created. So that updated art is to track the time, the day and the time at which the changes or updates are made. So when, of course, this will be reflecting in the front end when it has been connected to the back end and to the database. And let's look at other users as well. Let's look at products belonging to other users. So let's change this business ID to that of another user, and here it is. So the goods with order number 2 and order number 6 belongs to this user. Yeah, this forex trader here. Let's change it to another one's business ID. You can see. So this is how to access. They are accessing the same table, but they can't see one another's content. Yeah, because the table has been set to smartly know who is who and supply the data of that person to that person. Let's change it once more to the other user. I think it's V4. It should be Sandra, right? So you see. So let's assume that Sandra wants to make a change and say, okay, the price is no more $10 per pair. Want to update it. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. We're going to use the command I used earlier to make an update, and you're going to see that the updated art is going to track the time of the update. Now watch. I will come here and change this to take this off. Now I want to update the price, and I want it to be equal to $50, where order number is equal to 5, because you're going to refer to that goods directly. So it worked. Let's look at this table again. Now you see, take a good look at that. It was $10 here, and now it's $50. And the time of the update was also tracked. You know, there are several things that we could use this information for, but I think it's the essence, right? So I think that's it. Let's look at that's it for this particular section. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'm so glad I made impact. So please do to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and then please follow me on these platforms: GitHub, Facebook if you do Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn. Let's connect, let's learn from one another some more. Thank you so much for watching.